there is something kind of special about everything that is ours. We are special, of course, we're all special. And the moment something is ours, either given to us or our own ideas, we overvalue it. And like many of these things in behavioral economics, not only do we overvalue it, but we don't understand how much we will overvalue it the moment it will become ours. It's really hard to get people to look at something tempting like a cookie and not care. But what we can teach people is, for example, to sit on their hands, right? So you can't take this, or to turn around, or to distract themselves. So if you're looking for individual traits, I think that the most powerful one is probably grit, or the ability to resist temptation. That's something that people develop and can develop, and some people have a higher quantity of that, and it helps them avoid temptation in all kinds of things. 1,000 years ago, people probably had the same tendency to, say, honey, how do I look in that dress, let's say. Yeah. But the implication was not as high. When you have a banking system where you can manipulate the LIBOR interest rates, and all of a sudden it can destroy the whole economy, the activities are still small, but the amplification is much higher. The capitalistic system is a competitive system where every entity is fighting for our time, money, and attention. Right? So you imagine you walk down the street and everybody wants a piece of you. Every coffee shop wants you to buy another cookie, and every app wants you to spend more time. Everybody wants something from you. Again, if you believe that people are rational, that you have no problem. If you believe that people are irrational, make lots of mistakes, now the question is, in which mistakes should you intervene? And I think that when the mistakes are big, when people don't know in advance what the size of the mistake will be, when it's things that are very hard for people to change their minds. Like, it's not as if if you don't do homework one day, you'll learn that it wasn't a good idea. If you get a heart attack, it's a little hard to go back or you don't save for retirement or something like that. So as decisions get bigger, the cost becomes larger. The asymmetry of information becomes larger. I'm more and more willing to be paternalistic, including warning people against some things that could happen to them. This experiment, we created a Tamagotchi. The Tamagotchi, it was a little turtle on a screen, and the turtle was happy as long as people exercised, took the medication, and ate well. And we knew exercise from the phone, we knew taking medication from an internet-enabled pillbox, and we knew what people were eating. They were taking pictures of their food, and a dietitian was scoring it. And the turtle was happy as long as people were doing well, and became less and less happy. And then we were hoping that people would care about the turtle and therefore behave well. How big of the effect do you think it was? How much did people care about the turtle? Not much. It was good, right? People cared a little bit, and we gave people permission to name their turtle, all kinds of things, and it had a small effect, but not enough to really drive a substantial difference on behavior. So the next thing we did was we gave our turtle superpowers. The superpowers we gave the turtle was the ability to delete other apps from the phone. Right? So when you install the turtle, it analyzes what apps people use, and then the most popular one go out the first, the more frequent one go out the first, and the apps came back every night, and every day you could lose them again. And we're only giving it right now to people who had heart surgery. So we go to people who had heart surgery and we say, you think to yourself that you'll go home and you'll eat well and exercise and take your medication, but we know that that's not going to happen. It will last for about 2 or 3 weeks, and then you'll forget about this and you'll misbehave and you'll be back here for another heart surgery, or maybe you'll die. So why don't you let us install this turtle on your phone, and you could never delete the turtle, but the turtle will delete all these other apps and so on. It will help you behave well. And almost everybody says yes, and it actually helps. And because these are very sick people, we can show that it changes mortality, right? Because people do die from heart problems very, very quickly. Now, this is a question of paternalism. Right? And it's a question of, we can predict some things, and this is a true infringement on people's freedom. First of all, it's an experiment, right? I want to know what the benefit is before I decide, right? If the benefit was not high, but we certainly need to weigh freedom versus dying. And this idea that people should be free to do what they want, including dying, I'm not sure that's right. I actually worry that people put too much hope on big data and not enough on experiments. And big data and experiments are very different from each other. So let's say that the average age in this room is 25. All of you have been sleeping for many years. You should all be experts in sleeping. How many of you truly think you understand sleep? You understand when you sleep better, when you sleep worse, what the consequences are? The odds are very low that any of you, even if you think you are, the odds are very low, because it's not enough to have big data. Even if I gave you a hard drive with all your sleep data for all the years that you've been alive, and I gave you a good statistical software, maybe some statistical help, you're not going to learn a lot. Why? Because you've mostly been trying to sleep in the same way over and over and over, and you haven't really tried enough variation. Right? The notion of big data usually says that the right answer is already, somebody has discovered the right answer, like somebody has it correct, or at least many people have it correct, right? In many things in life, the correct answer is not in the set. So if you do a big data exercise, I might be able to figure out maybe the 1 or 2 people here who know something about sleep. It turns out, for example, that sleeping in low temperature really helps accelerating REM sleep. It turns out that not drinking coffee after 4 helps, lavender smell helps, lots of things help. Plus, we have cell phones. Cell phones are like the last 10 years. So if I looked at all data, new things are happening. So, and blue light and so on. So I think that one of the things we need to do is not to rely just on big data, but keep on experimenting. And for me, experiments are about imagining a different future, putting it into action in a small way, and testing whether this future can actually be better. Even businesses can try to create a different future. So again, when you do big data, you say, given my current system, what's the best thing? But experiments, no matter who is using them, is saying, my current set is not reflecting anything. There's more things to do. And I want to simulate that other future. So that's the first answer. Like big data, really nice, but sometimes it comes at the expense of experiments, which I think are different and could be more important.